That's the right button. I actually almost clicked the wrong
Hey.
button. Like, we're playing Things from the Flood. So, hi, you should be able to see us and hear us now. We're playing this Free League channel. A bunch of different people here. We'll go through and say hello in a second. I want to say a quick thank you to Untold Stories Project for giving us a raid as we were setting up. So, thank you for coming by. Thank you for hanging out. Yeah. Um, yeah, let's get going. So we've got a lot of different people here, make a lot of great content. So why don't we just go through, say who you are, say who you're playing, and tell people where to find what you do on the internet. So Bert.
Hey, I'm playing Edward Rinking, the resident computer guy and drug dealer. Uh,
Oh dear.
you can find my stuff at twitch.tv/Steam Steel Murder or the podcast at Blue Magic, BLUMAGIK.com. Edward is, yeah, these are his guys. These are his best friends. He will do anything for you. He's not going to live past high school anyway. So anything for you. Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. Sorry, I was getting the links that I have. And so there should be a some stuff for Bert stuff there, both his Twitch stream and Blue Magic's podcast stuff. Let's keep it going. Chuck.
Oh, snap. I'm Chuck, Defenders of Cobalt. We do stuff and things on the internet, and it's great. So, yeah. But tonight I am playing Levi, the rocker type. I got an overbearing mother and a great band, and I don't know. I'm gonna go work at a meat factory today.
Nice. Nice.
Heck
Uh,
and meat.
making meat.
Making meat.
It's just, no, I'm not gonna make those jokes yet. It's too early. Okay. Keep it going, Joe. Joe just finally watched Alien for the first time.
Yeah,
So yeah. Anyway, Joe, who are
clap.
you?
I did. Hi, I'm Joe with the Defenders of Cobalt, and I haven't seen a lot of movies. I'm playing Nicholas, Forrester, related to the twins. He's a street kid, little bit of a loner type, but yeah, he's kind of on the run from every authority in our entire town, including the military. So that'll be fun.
All of
See
them.
where that goes.
I'm sure everything will work out just fine. Can't possibly be a bad thing. Bottom bro, Melissa.
Melissa with Adventures in Lollygagging. You can catch us here every other Monday. On the alternate Mondays, you can catch us on twitch.tv/lollygaggers for our Alien campaign. Most Fridays, you can catch us playing some Delta Green, also on our channel. And on Saturday, we're about to start up some Worlds Without Number.
Yeah.
In this game, I am playing Allison Forrester, one of the Wonder Twins. She is the party animal. Who doesn't really do much of the school stuff. She was over at the hospital. Um, our dad is not employed, drinks a lot, and was completely oblivious to the meat that took over the duplex. So ignorance is bliss, I suppose.
Indeed, it is. Wonder Twins. Okay. And then the other half of the Wonder Twin duo is Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm playing Llewellyn, and I'm like really excited to hear that I'm a Wonder Twin. And if ignorance is bliss, I guess I'm gonna live like a really happy life because I'm the jock. And I mean well, but I don't think real hard about stuff. Uh, but and then in real life, I like to hang out and play games with these folks, and sometimes talk about comic books. A place called the Plewcast, Plewd. Why not?
Nice.
He's the Wonder Twin that turns into a pail of water.
So
I mean, that'd be cool.
I
Powers activate. Mundane object.
I'm not sure the average age of the people who are listening right now or watching, but I put a little reference to what today is going to be like, or at least what the start of tonight's episode is going to be like, as Llewellyn, Levi, and Nicholas are all going to do day labor at the meat plant, the meat company, as they're going to pick stuff up. And so if you remember, like from the early 90s or mid 90s, there's a Diet Coke commercial. And so everyone took a Diet Coke break, and there's a guy who was working outside, and all the women rushed to like the window and watched him like take his shirt off, and like he's just drinking the Diet Coke. So anyway, that's tonight, and we'll see how it goes. And then finally, Dan.
Hey everybody, I'm Dan. I'm playing Steven, who is somewhat quiet and out of the way in this game so far. He's the lone wolf, and just like I was last session, hopefully I can get back up to speed this week.
Yeah, you'll be all right. We'll catch you up. Speaking of aliens, today is Alien Day, so LV426. A lot of people here play Alien. You can catch a few of us like on the Lollygaggers every other Monday as we play, and we have an ongoing Alien campaign. Chuck's got Alien. He's playing Destroyer of Worlds on Friday. So plenty of cool Alien games to look at, and soon, hopefully, we'll have that Colonial Marines expansion and see what we can do with that. So fun times. So let's catch Dan up, because Dan, you were here last time, but you unfortunately had to work for most of it. So the big thing that happened last time was that the home of Llewellyn and Allison became infected with sentient meat. So
I remember it led to a sentient car and a conversation with the car.
100% correct. Yeah. So the duplex that they lived in after their dad, like the night before or the day before or so, had been seen eating meat. Maybe that was the same stuff. Maybe it was a different type of meat. Who knows? Meat started to infest that entire duplex, and it got into the neighbors, who got the worst of it. And Llewellyn, and I'm gonna have to get used to that. Llewellyn and Allison tried to help them, got the crew together to give them a hand late at night, and the whole duplex was just covered in meat. And through some really clever thinking that I pretty much wasn't even remotely prepared for, they figured out a way to communicate with the meat by using a Buick Century coupe. And combinations of vroom vrooms and honk honks and a little bit of the radio, and suddenly there was communication. So
would you say it was a metropolis?
Was that what I say? It was what?
Would you say it was a metropolis?
It was a little bit like that. I think we made a Bumblebee reference too, right? Like a transformer. Thank you for the sub there, Tombstone.
Yeah.
Thank you,
the
sir.
Radio.
But things went well. You managed to peacefully get the meat to leave the duplex, push it all into the coop, and then Nicholas had the fine idea of sending the meat out towards Fort Upchurch, the shady military research facility way out east of town,
Call it was well cooked,
where it got
Yeah.
torched at the
Got
gates.
met with open arms and bouts of flame.
It was flame broiled for sure.
well done.
Yes.
Well done.
And they did recover it, and they took it into the bowels of the complex, the military complex, and who knows what happens then.
Sure, nothing will come.
I'm sure
out of
it's
that.
not going to return at all. So then all of you the next day, a few of you went to school. So specifically Edward and Stephen went to school. Edward did some looking into a few other students that might be connected with the power grid or the power company, because it looks like the meat was like working off of like electrical power, and that's how it was growing and getting bigger. Stephen got a weird talking to by the vice principal, as apparently everyone's looking for Nicholas, because a few weeks back in a different episode, Nicholas and everybody burnt down some meth buildings at a summer camp. And Nicholas left his wallet behind. And so everyone knows that he was involved. And let's see. Allison.
To be fair, he could have been there doing meth.
It's true. Like, that is fair.
Hey, what's
out of all the things I could have done in a meth house, I did the best thing.
You blew the meth house
burned it down
up.
What's to say somebody didn't steal his wallet?
Yeah. That's it'll be an interesting thing if he ever gets caught. Let's see how he gets out of that. And then Allison went to visit her friend Summer in the hospital, and while she was there, she noticed that there's a whole one of the wings on the second floor of the hospital was closed down, and there's apparently a bunch of security guards that don't look like security guards. They look too good at their jobs, and so there's some shady stuff happening at the hospital, and that's about it. So we're gonna start. At the same time Allison was at the hospital, the same time Edward and Stephen were at school, Levi, Llewellyn, and Nicholas decided they were going to go and they were going to toss some meat around because there a couple days ago when there was a really bad dust storm and a lot of different damage was done. One of the places that suffered damage was the Ham's Meat Company, where some of their buildings and their complex and their factory complex were damaged significantly, and they just needed some day labor to come out. And so we're going to start there with the three of you. It's running kind of parallel to where we ended last week or last time. Let me get a little mood music going on. I was about to play some romantic stuff and then be like, okay, Llewellyn, what are you doing? All right. So, you get there fairly early, the three of you, and there are two ways in, as far as you know, to the Ham's Meat Company complex. There is sort of a main entrance, and then there is a delivery entrance, which is basically for large trucks and deliveries. And both of those have security sheds, and they have gates, and people are checking ID cards and stuff. You can't get in here unless you're allowed to get in here, right? It's a lot of security for a meat company, but there is a small staging area for day workers outside of the delivery entrance. And so as the three of you, and I assume, Llewellyn, you pick people up in your car, and the three of you show up together just for ease, you get there, and you can see there's probably about a dozen other people that are kind of waiting around. And you kind of check in, make sure that this is the right place, and everyone kind of confirms, etc. And by about 8 a.m., you can see a couple people from inside come out. They got their usual Ham's Meat Company polos on. Got a little canned piece of pork, and they have some clipboards, and they start giving out instructions and taking signatures of people, giving you day passes and stuff. But Llewellyn, you notice that you recognize one of the people who seem to be your supervisors for the day. As everyone's going around, they're handing over temporary badges, and you see what is kind of a scrawny-looking, tall, little, kind of freckles left on his face guy come up. You can see he's got what looks like a healing of a black eye. And he looks, and he's like, well. Look who wants to come work at my family's factory. And he kind of looks
if you're just going to let it fall to shambles on your own, maybe you can get somebody competent in here.
Oh, well, they do have someone competent in here. Me. Guess who's going to be in charge of you today? Making sure you do the things you're supposed to do. Me. So he's just kind of staring you down. And if you do anything out of line that I don't like, I can just kick you on out of here and not pay you for a single bit of work you do today. How do you like that, Llewellyn?
I think I'm going to make this day worth it.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of gets really close. And if you so much as touch me, I swear to you, you're going to be in the meat factory when I'm done with you today. You got me? And you're bigger than him. Broad shoulders, muscles. He's kind of a scrawny jerk.
You know, you're cute when your lip twitches like that.
Kind of, fine. And he kind of spits on the ground a little bit in front of you. And then he moves over, hands Levi a day pass, kind of looks you up and down. Moves over to Nicholas. Gives you kind of a weird look. I heard someone's looking for you. This is right in front of Nicholas's face. Yeah. I heard you're kind of,
Now you got me confused with someone else.
Oh, really? What's your name? I need it for the form.
My name's Horace.
We go to school together, you idiot. I know your name's not Horace.
I'm gonna lean in really close to him and be like, my name is Horace.
Oh, really? Well, Horace, what are you gonna give me?
Can
Gotta
Well,
make
what
it
I-
worth my while if I'm gonna lie
I'm
for you.
familiar with him. What I know, like, what type of
Good.
what I know, what things I'd be able to bribe him with in particular, like
You-
a particular hobby or interest that he has, just from going to school with him.
Okay.
Dash for the day.
Roll like I don't know. Let's see how well you know him. I would say. Roll. You can either do like a contact thing if you want. If you want to figure out like maybe you know somebody who knows him really well, or if you just want to try to charm him, like just try to be nice to him and bribe him, whatever. You can try that too. So one of those two.
I'll go with charm since I have a better shot at that.
Everyone's just listing various diseases that that little ham
One
can give
success.
Nicholas, or the other way around. Wait.
First one and then the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
I'd
not?
say, like,
both?
worst case, I'll split my earning for the day with him 50-50.
Okay, and he'll be like,
Okay. I like that. I want $50 by the end of the day. You hear me?
I can do that.
Okay. Your cousin's a piece of
As long
shit.
as my
you
name
know
tag says Horace.
he writes up on the visitor's badge and he writes big letters, Horace.
There you go. Horace.
And he starts walking away and he starts handing everybody else. A few minutes go by. And eventually the three of you are led back with the other 12 people who they have working into the complex itself. So the gate kind of comes up and in you go. Looking around, have any of you, would any of you have had any reason to like be here before, family work here or anything like that? Tour at some point, like elementary school?
Yeah, I think my dad worked here, so
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
probably I've probably passed through it before.
Okay. Okay, so there are several buildings on the complex for hams. There's an administration building, a butchery, a cannery, which is where Llewellyn, your neighbor Patty, who you just saved the night before, that's where she works. Storage, like some big storage warehouses, a fleet garage where a bunch of their delivery trucks and stuff park, and then various animal stocks. When you come in, you can see that damage seems to have happened to two specific sections of the complex, and the three of the whole group is kind of split into two. One group kind of goes all the way, is being led towards the animal stocks, and one seems to be heading towards the cannery. Chuck, give me a D100, and
Yeah.
low it'll be cannery, and high it'll be animal stocks where you guys get sent. Okay.
Cannery.
All right, so you guys are brought over to the cannery, which is, you still pass by, and you can kind of peek in the distance to the far rear, which is like the south side of the complex, and you can see that what looks like temporary, almost like circus tents have been set up, and you can see that there's people leading like these whole long lines of animals and stuff into the stocks, and you can see that off to the left of that, there's just massive destruction, where it looks like what was probably a permanent structure for the animal stocks is just kind of collapsed onto it. When you go to the cannery is mostly intact, but there looks to have been an annex that I would say you would remember is here, but is completely missing. It's as if a whole section of the building has just been completely fallen apart, and in its place is almost like a sinkhole. And when you're led to the edge of this sinkhole, you can see that there's just all sorts of rafters and debris in this large sunken section. Part of the cannery itself is almost teetering off one of the ledge, the ledge over top of the sinkhole, but it looks like it's staying relatively intact. Why don't the three of you, just to sort of see if you were able to peek at anything else as you were walking, roll a quick investigation test as you're keeping an eye out, your eyes peeled for different things.
1 success.
Okay. All right. So,
Nice.
A failure for me.
okay.
I got two. I'm a real investigator here. I hate him so much. I'm looking for everything.
Okay. So I'll give you a couple different things then. Llewellyn, you notice over by the animal stocks, you see there are a couple, by that I mean literally two, vans that look really familiar because you just saw them within the last day or so. When you guys were briefly investigating Beaver Ruin Road, the suburb where there apparently were a series of buildings that were infested with some kind of wasp or whatever, there was a company, like an extermination company. It wasn't like a national chain. It was like a chain that most people don't really know, and you see them there. It's got this B logo on it, and you can see two of them are there, and it's off in the back. Nicholas, you notice that parked over by the administration building, you can see mixed within them are these black tinted Jeeps, or like, you know, like almost not like what am I thinking of? Like a Humvee, like a military vehicle that you know without question is the same type of vehicle you were put in very recently until your friends broke you out. And so you notice that on the actual grounds. And that's what I guess the three got. And unfortunately, Levi, you didn't really notice anything beyond what was already kind of pointed out. So
Can I make like a general kind of sneak test to try and stay like not noticed, kind of like blend in and always be walking behind somebody else or something like that, trying to avoid attention of authority figures?
Okay, just roll sneak. And we'll just keep this like whenever you're generally with the group, this will be what you have as one success. If at any point you try to do something more specific, then we might re-roll it. But for now, we'll just say, yeah, no problem. You're able to blend in with the crowd decently well. Okay. You're given a little bit of a speech. They kind of inform you what you're supposed to do. Literally, all you guys are doing is digging out debris from this collapsed area in the annex and just digging further and further into it. People point out like a whole row of porta potties, and they specifically tell you are not allowed inside any of the buildings. If you need to go, you go over by the porta potties. If you need something to drink, there's water underneath the tent, like over near the porta potties, and that's it. Just work on getting stuff out. They point you to a series of dumpsters, and your job is to go in, pick that stuff up, carry it over the dumpsters, and dump it out. Any questions? The little snot, little ham says.
So, like, what buildings did you say we could go into again?
I said you can't go into any buildings.
Okay, which one's any building, man? Like, I'm just teasing you, man. I'm good, man. Just fucking with you.
That's one. It's one strike. You get two.
And then on strike 3, we're out?
No, on strike 2, you get out. You get two.
He doesn't get sports.
Okay, listen, it's not for everyone, man. I'm just going to get to work.
Llewellyn, you get one strike. And you're halfway there.
Living on a prayer?
I'm gonna tell my dad that you've been having a smart lip. You'll see what happens.
You gonna tell your parents about me? I'm touched.
No, that's not what I meant. Get to work.
And you see him wander over to the tented area where like it's shaded and there's drinks and there's water, and he sits down and he pulls out like a magazine, like Popular Mechanics or something like that. And and he's just there, like legs crossed, like watching periodically, looking down, and that's it. Like there's a couple other people around, but his job quite literally is just to watch you all day. Okay.
True supervisor.
Is there anyone else that's like already in the pit?
There's just everyone kind of arrived the same time you guys did. So like you guys came in as a big group. They split you up into like, you know, one group of 7, one group of 8, and like there's like about 7 of you working on this little part right here. Okay. So let's kick it over and let's see what everybody else is doing for a little bit before we come back. So we'll kick it over to Allison, who you had gone to the hospital. and skipped your morning classes to do so.
Yes.
We'll say you have just finished up your conversation with Autumn, who was in the kind of the waiting room for her sister, and you just noticed the kind of the weirdness of the security guards. And it's like when you looked at the security guard, like you were zeroing in on the fact that like they had like a big old gun on the side of their belt. They looked at attention. You're just kind of doing the whole classic scan them from like bottom to top, and as you look up, you realize they were looking at you the whole time. It's like they knew that you were just sort of staring them down. So what do you want to do? Let's say you probably missed like 2 classes in the morning. So what do you want to do with the rest of your day?
I'll probably make an appearance at school because I did just skip like the whole entire day
Okay.
the day before, so I'll go just to
Okay. Fair enough.
make a show.
All right. So you head over to you head back to school. Steven, you had a really strange encounter with your vice principal at the end of last session.
It was one of the few things I was actually there for.
Mm-hmm. And you do notice, by the way, that like none of your friends are around. Like even at one point, like you're in a class with Allison and Edward, and like in the morning, and neither of them were there. Like they just
Edward even, because I know he was at school, I think, but
yeah, we'll say you probably saw Edward, but he wasn't in class. Like he was doing, he stepped out to do something else, and then Allison never showed up at all. You never saw her, so like no one was there. But at a certain point during like lunch, you notice that like someone comes into like this large cafeteria as everyone's eating and everything like that, and there's looking out the glass wall stuff, you can see that on the outer seating areas there's a couple other people out there too, and there's all these military personnel that are wandering around. You've got 2 people in the cafeteria with you, 2 people that are outside. You can see that there's like a group of 2 people that are heading over towards like the football field and the bleachers, where that's another fairly popular place for people to eat lunch. And a guy with kind of a clean-shaven face kind of just blends into the crowd of just like a soldier of some kind. You're not really sure, but he does have these big glasses. He gets on one of these little like megaphones, and he just addresses the entirety of the cafeteria. And so, if I can have your attention, please, ladies, gentlemen. My name is Corporal Summers. I am from Fort Up Church, and I just need a moment of your time, if you don't mind. And like some people are like just talking and talking. No one's really paying attention. Just a moment of your time, please. And no one's really giving him a moment of his time.
Kind of want to hear this, but part of me also wants to try and start a food fight.
And then finally, the other person who's with them takes like, he walks over to somebody else's table. There's a big old stack of books. It's like a big, thick biology book. Picks it up and slams it onto the ground until like it makes this huge, loud rattling. All of a sudden, everyone's quiet. And he's like, "Thank you, thank you. As I said, my name is Corporal Summers. I am from Fort Up Church. We are here today. We are looking for an individual, friend of yours possibly, and we would very much appreciate any aid, any assistance you can lend us. His name is Nicholas Forrester. He is he? Are you a junior, Nick? Are you a junior, Joe, or a senior?
I'm a junior because I was held back a year.
Okay. And so he's pulling it out. He has like he's reading. You can see he's reading from notes. He is a junior, approximately, and he reads out your weight and your height,
Description,
basic description, all these types of things. Edward, I'll say you're at lunch too, so maybe you and Steven are together for this, and you're listening to this happen.
It's definitely something I want to do here.
Okay. And so he's just kind of reading that out. What do you want to do, Edward?
All right, so I'm going to talk to some of my friends, more like people that buy drugs off me that are around me, and I kind of start spreading around to start doing the snitches get stitches.
Okay.
Just have everybody just start having, saying that out loud.
Okay, roll a charm test.
All right.
Let's see how this goes. You want to push?
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna push this.
Go for it.
All right. I actually have a decent amount of this, so
You do.
Yeah, that's 66. Yeah. Oh,
There we
very
go.
Nice. Very nice. 2 successes.
and I'll
Okay.
just have that make me exhausted. You have to take a condition, right?
Yep,
When
correct.
you push it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned it a few times, and like, he starts going through like the Corporal Summer starts going through like a second round, just going through the same thing. Like, now I want to make sure that y'all know that we need to find him. It's for his own good, for his own protection, and you would be doing. And all of a sudden, like we hear a chant, like someone yells from in the back, and you don't really know who it is. It just yells, "Snitches get stitches," you know. And then somebody else on the complete other side of the cafeteria, "Yeah, that's what I heard. Snitches get stitches." And then a couple other people say it, and then you hear like this slow chant, and it's like, "Okay, kids, this isn't a case of snitches getting stitch. I don't even know what that means. Listen, I am an authority figure here, and I think that it would behoove you to help." And it's just getting louder and louder. And then the other guy throws down another biology textbook on the ground, but no one really gives crap anymore.
Too late.
And then like the room is lost, and he hits the megaphone, tries to turn it up. You get that horribly loud pitch, and and at that point, there's like, it's bullshit. And they like
The memes are mighty.
yeah, like by the door, if you could overhear them, freaking teenagers, and they just leave at that point. Okay. All right, so
Good move. Good move.
Allison, we'll say you arrive basically around that time. When you get back, I don't know if you're riding a bike or whatever, since you don't have Llewellyn to give you a ride. But when you do get back to your high school, you do notice that there are several military vehicles in the employee parking lot.
I will avoid them as much as possible and see if I can find anybody just to kind of get the scuttlebutt of what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you'll be able to hear the chant, like some weird chanting going on by the cafeteria. But you do notice that as you're approaching the cafeteria, you're probably coming from the direction where like there's some outdoor seating. You do see that there are a couple people that are talking to a pair of military personnel outside of the cafeteria, and you can't quite make out what they're saying. They're in the distance, but at one point you see one of the kids that's looking, they're kind of turning their head around a bit, and then they lock eyes with you, and they point to you specifically. And one of the military personnel turns and looks and sees you, like waves a hand at you and starts walking in your direction.
I need to stay put.
Okay.
I'm not going to make it easier for them. I'm not walking to them, but
Okay.
I'm not going to like run.
So he's in this. So you see this guy, kind of not very tall, actually, kind of short, light build, dark clothing. Got a hat on, and he's got like those reflective, like silver sunglasses. He's just walking fairly quickly at you, and you see him like reach into his pocket, and he pulls something out, and you see that he holds it in front of you, and it is Nicholas's driver's license. And he says, "Ma'am, have you seen this boy?"
Not recently, no.
When was the last time you saw him?
A couple days.
A couple days? A couple days. Okay. Is that the story you want to tell me right now?
Well, if I'm being honest, wasn't here this morning. Wasn't here yesterday. So, yeah.
Where were you last night?
Hanging out with my brother and my dad at home.
What's your name again?
Allison?
Allison. Allison what?
Allison Forrester?
Allison Forrester. What's your father's name?
I don't remember. I give them my father's
You don't
name.
remember your father's name. You're on way too many drugs. Okay.
Father Forrester.
Since you're straight up
Yeah.
lying to him,
Forrester.
go ahead and roll a charm test.
Okay.
I was at a meth party last night, and we blew up a cabin. And then we talked to a car, but it wasn't really the car that we talked to. It was actually the meat that was embodying it. That's where I was.
Is that the
I'm
drugs
impressed.
talking, or is that real life?
Okay,
Kind of
go,
like the movie Cars, but a lot worse.
go ahead and push.
I mean, it's one of those things that at some point in the evening, it was truth that I was hanging out at home with my brother and my dad. There was
You're
a
lying.
portion of them.
You're
just-
lying. You saw him
Gosh.
last night.
Darn it.
Okay. Okay.
That's fail.
Well, ma'am, I believe you're being untruthful, and I believe you've seen him more recently. I guess I'm just gonna have to go speak with your father about this. You sure there's not anything you want to tell me?
No.
Okay. Well, I have your name. I have your father's name, and he'll be hearing about this. Thank you. And he puts the glasses back on, and he walks away. Okay. We're going to shift back over to the factory, where Llewllyn, Levi, and Nicholas, you've been spending the past, say, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, doing some heavy labor. All three of you go ahead and roll force test. Just to see, it's November, so it's actually nice weather here. It's not too hot, but it's still some heavy lifting. Oh, Levi, look at you.
I did all right.
Levi hasn't even
Nice.
broken a sweat. It's pretty
Oh
crazy.
man.
Meanwhile, Nicholas is, but you're all right. You're all right. Okay. So in the time that you've been here working, you have noticed a few things. You have noticed that there have been people over by those vans, those exterminator vans that you saw, Llewellyn, that have gone out of those vans, put on what effectively looks like hazmat suits, and have taken these large canisters out of the back of these vans, put them down on the ground, and wheeled them into the tents, which the animals had been getting led into when you first arrived. And in terms of the military vehicles, you haven't seen anybody come or go yet by those in the parked by the administration. When you look over towards your pal Little Ham, he has kind of dozed off a little bit underneath the tent. He's got what looks like the magazine splayed out in his lap, and he had some kind of giant Diet Coke on the side up on the table next to him. But he seems to kind of fallen asleep at this point. People have started to slack off a bit. What do the three of you want to do?
Oh, we got some snooping to do, don't we?
I'm definitely curious about I mean, for me, like, what the hell is going on in the cannery section? That's where Bailey worked. Like,
We want to go slip off and take a look.
I don't know if all of us should.
Has there been anything weird in the pit that we've dug up yet?
No, but you're not at the. You've only probably gotten about halfway down. Mostly, it's just been rubble. I will say, and I don't even require a roll for this. You do notice that the rubble itself seems strangely perfect at times, like where you would expect like a rafter to split awkwardly, and you could see a split. Instead, it just more looks like it's almost been cut, or like one half of kind of like a wall stud is just sort of smooth at the end, and you don't see the other half anymore. It just things kind of piling up, don't seem to make too much sense.
And so is it like a collapsed into like a sinkhole or something?
Yeah.
underneath the plant?
Looks like a big hole. Yeah, a big hole in the ground. Yeah, they've set up like these crude plywood steps. A couple people actually have wheelbarrows that they're using, and they're pushing up these ramps on the sides of the sinkholes themselves. Some of you might have done that instead of loading them up. Others are just picking up pieces and carrying them out if they're too big to fit into the wheelbarrows themselves. But yeah, you've
Nice.
noticed that a lot of the broken pieces aren't splintered, but they're smooth. It's kind of peculiar. No one really seems to be talking about it or caring too much, but you have noticed that. There's still a long way to go, though.
What one of the jobs seem to like be venturing the farthest out from the hole? Are like the people doing the wheelbarrows? Are those going pretty far away, or
Everyone kind of goes to the
what's
same
like
place.
the most mobile part?
Everyone kind of goes. It's kind of just to and from the dumpsters, which is towards the front of the complex.
Are there? So is this a place like you mentioned people wearing like the polos, almost like a work shirt? Is there maybe like a locker room where people would typically like? Do folks probably come to work wearing those, or is there maybe a locker room where we might go in and get some polos of our own?
Levi, your dad worked here. You would probably know that. Yeah, it's not on. Yeah, there's a locker room here, especially for certain areas like the cannery and the butchery and stuff, where people are more we're more likely to get kind of dirtied up. Like anyone who works in the administration building probably just comes like normal, but anybody else who's doing some of the labor, slaughtering, canning, that kind of stuff, it's likely that like there's coats that you're probably wearing, big old aprons, stuff like that. So it's possible to find locker rooms either in the butchery or the cannery, possibly.
Let's like go get in disguise.
Absolutely, man. Let's go.
Awesome.
We didn't come here to actually do goddamn work. We came here to snoop.
No way, man. I'm gonna punch that dude in the face. I don't care about the
Fuck
$100.
yeah. Here's the great thing too. If we get caught, we're a bunch of goddamn teenagers. What are they going to do? They're going to go to the person who was in charge of us,
Right?
and that fucker's going to get in trouble.
I know. It's win-win. I love it.
Absolutely. Let's fucking go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you guys going? Where you guys want
Locker
to?
room.
Okay, you want to try to get. Okay, so you know that probably the butchery area and the cannery area are kind of separate. You're right next to the cannery. Like you're cleaning up the annex specifically. So why don't you guys roll sneak tests to try to break off from the work group into one of these buildings?
Y'all gotta pee real bad all of a sudden.
Where
Same
am
time.
I? Did I roll?
Nope, I don't see
I
yours.
don't think mine didn't come through.
I got 2 with Nicholas, 1 for Llewellyn.
Right back.
Okay.
One for me. All right.
You guys managed to very easily sneak off from the group. A couple guys like who are working kind of look up at you, and they don't really. They kind of give you a look like, "What are you doing?" But they don't make a stink when like you guys move away. But you curve around the back side of the cannery because there's some employee only doors back there, and they're a little less, they're not watched as often as like the front side where there's like a big old main entrance coming right off the administration building. So you sneak up and down what looks basically like this long alleyway, and you find a little area where there's like this small metal circular table, and there's a couple like lawn chairs that have been set up, big old ashtray with a bunch of like old buds that are in the middle. Looks like a place where people come for a smoke break. And you see that there is a door that's leading inside. It does say employees only, and there's also a series of windows that have been cracked open that are kind of horizontal, and they're up fairly high, like probably about 6-7 feet off the ground, but they are cracked open a little bit and outward, as if they're like venting some air in. But you don't see anyone around currently. Everyone seems a little bit busy. What do you guys want to try to do?
Get polos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get some disguises, man.
So
Awesome.
you check the door. The door's locked, at least from the outside. But you do think, looking up at the windows, that if somebody gave a boost, one of you could probably crawl in the window.
You want to boost me, or I want to boost you?
I'm probably a better booster.
I'm pretty good at boosting too, man. I'll tell you what, you boost me.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. I'll make you roll. That's fine. You're strong. But yeah, you Levi, you get boosted up, and your head pops into what looks like a locker room. You see a series of lockers, some benches. It kind of stinks in here. You see like there's this laundry bin off to the left, and the laundry in it. There's a lot of white, but then there's just tons of like brown and red stains like mixed in the pile of laundry, and there's bugs kind of flying around in it. You look off to the right, and you can see that there's a door that's got a kind of a frosted glass, and you can see people moving around on the other side of that glass door, like that's like an office area, or maybe that transitions into the factory floor. But it doesn't look like there's anybody currently in here. You do hear, as you wait a moment, the flush of a toilet. So someone's here, you just can't see them.
Do I, looking around, do I see any urinals?
Sure.
Cool. Biggest concern out of the way. In I go.
Okay. So you drop down in, and as you do, you hear sound of you see the sound of water, someone kind of whistling a little bit, like they're washing their hands. A couple footsteps. You hear the door of that frosted glass office open, and then it closes behind. And you think at this point you're probably you're probably in the room by yourself, and there's the door that you could potentially open up to let the rest of them in.
Yeah, I'll go pop that door open.
Okay, so you pop it open, Nicholas, Llewellyn, you come in. You're looking for polos, or you're looking for clothes of some kind. Okay. How about
what the lockers in here? Are they graded or are they the solid?
They're graded.
Okay.
Okay. Can any of you pick a lock?
Yes.
Allegedly.
Okay.
We just look
I
at
would
Nicholas.
Just gonna brute force a locker door
definitely
open. This
You could
works
do that
better,
too.
man.
You could pick a lock, or you can roll force to force to break open a locker.
Is it Tinker?
Yeah, Tinker, I think, is the if you're gonna do like a mechanical picking.
Yeah,
Go for it.
I'll do that.
All right. One
One
success.
success.
Yeah, you're able to crack one open, and you get what almost looks like kind of a butchery bowling type shirt. You flip through it, like, and it stinks. It kind of reeks. You open up another one. There's a nice, beautiful pink polo. And then you open up a third, and it looks like it's got like an apron and an old polo that probably wasn't washed. And so it's like, oh, God, someone wash your clothes.
You pick the lock. I think you get dibs.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you guys go ahead and you're going to take some time changing your clothes and whatnot. We'll switch back over since Dan's back. We'll go back to school. So the three of you, Edward,
Right up to the
Allison,
bridge.
and Steven, you've just got a lunch. It's sort of we'll call it your last class of the day. So you get about an hour and a half before the end of school. You're all in the same class. We'll call it biology. And Allison, you just had an encounter, kind of a creepy encounter with one of the military guys. Stephen, Edward, you just saw what happened in the cafeteria. All of you are together waiting for the instructor to start class. Anything you
And
guys
I had my little
doing?
encounter with the principal too.
Yeah. So anything you guys do? And you guys probably got a couple minutes before class starts. If there's anything in particular you're looking to do.
I mean, try and catch up real quick and just.
Yeah,
Are the
I am
soldiers
now.
gone?
They are not in the classroom. No, it's just right now. It's just kids in the classroom, and you guys are waiting for your teacher to show up and start class.
All right. I'm looking out the windows to see if I can find their vehicles.
You can't see them out the window, but Allison did see them coming up. So Allison, you would be able to know where they are.
Yeah, I'll share the encounter that I just had, and
Faculty parking lot, but we'll say this particular classroom doesn't necessarily look out onto the faculty parking lot, but Allison knows where they're at.
Yeah. Gonna go check
We're
them
gonna
out.
pick-
See if there are any soldiers around them currently.
Okay. Allison, Steven, do you want to go with them or you want to hang back?
Allison has no desire to initiate another interaction with them. right
Okay.
now.
So you're going to hang back in the class?
I hate to say it, but I'm trying to keep up with the appearance of being separate.
Okay. All right, so the
No.
two of you are hanging back. Edward's going on a solo mission. Edward, roll a sneak test.
Yeah.
Let's see if you get past the hall monitor.
I'm sorry.
Actually, can I not sneak past the hall monitor and just slip him a 20?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, yeah. I'll say, roll a charm.
Just
Okay.
give him a dime bag and be on your way.
Time
Oh,
back.
damn it. This is the unbribable one who takes his role as hall monitor really seriously.
Seriously.
Yeah, just like, no, I don't do those things. Those things are going to
There's
kill
no
you.
price on justice.
You don't do cash? Everybody does cash, man. It's the thing. I mean, we're not in Soviet Russia.
No, we're not in Soviet Russia, but I'm not taking your money to look the other way. That's just not. I'm principled.
But
I am the hall. That's a good line. That's a great line.
right, okay.
So you can either push, or if you want, you can step out of the way and then
Yeah.
try to physically sneak around them if you want.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, no problem. You don't like capitalism, I get it.
I'm watching you. And then they turn to look the other way.
Yeah. So when he is otherwise occupied, I'll try and sneak by them.
Okay.
This is impossible.
Nah, you got this. See?
Oh wow, I
There you
actually
go.
do.
Look at that.
So they look off in a different direction as they kind of get caught up as like two other people are trying to sneak away. They're like, hey, yo, no. Get back to class. It's better for
Went
you.
around them.
Yeah. And you're able to,
Different
while they're
hallway.
occupied, sneak past them.
Awesome. I say a silent prayer to Nike Air Jordans and
But you are able to get out to the faculty parking lot without anyone noticing you. There's people in the halls, but like a lot of people are like running to class, both teachers and students, and you do see periodically you can see little groupings of like faculty administrators talking, some of whom have like military personnel as well. But you get out to the faculty parking lot, and we'll say that there's two vehicles out here that you would immediately recognize as the same type of vehicle that you saw Nicholas get put into.
anyone around them.
Not right now. It doesn't appear so.
All right. Well, I'm just going to casually do a stroll by. Sorry, this is the 80s or 90s?
This is 1992.
92. I can still get away with this. I light up a cigarette, like I just skipped out to get
Okay.
a cigarette break.
Okay.
And kind of casually look in the windows, either one, to see if there's anything in the seats.
Not
Looking for
smoking
like
boys room.
notepads, notebooks, anything like that.
Okay. You do notice that there is an accordion file type of thing sitting on the passenger side of one of the two vehicles.
All right. So just casually lean up against it and check the handle.
It is locked.
See.
It's locked.
It's locked. All right. Look around. These are Humvees, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They provide lots of cover. I'll drop down. I'll try and pick the lock.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your tinker. And do you have any items with you that can get a boost from this?
Any items with me? Let me see. Honestly, I'm probably doing this with just paper clips.
Okay.
Hair bob.
Sure. You can take one for that. That's fine.
Classic lockpicking tools.
Has anyone
tinker,
ever
right?
picked a lock with a credit card before? You remember those things?
Yeah.
Jimmy Credit card. No.
I've never picked
I don't
a
think that
lock,
works for
but
a
I've
car.
I've jimmied the latch on something before, but
I had to open an internal bathroom that had a lock on the inside only that somebody had locked, forgot, and then closed it, and used one to open them.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Easily enough. This is surprisingly easy. Doesn't take you very long either. With 2 successes, you get in there really fast. And yeah, it opens up.
Yeah, I don't even look. I just snag it.
Yeah, just snag it.
don't even
Okay.
look,
You
just
just
snag it.
grab it and
Yep. And then stay, like, just roll on the ground so that I'm behind the SUV,
Mhm.
and then just start duck walking away so that I'm not viewable from windows.
Okay, fair enough. Rolling over your sneak test, you're able to move as though not so much like no one can see you, but as though it looks like you're supposed to be where you're at, or like you're kind of hustling to go to a class, something like that. You're kind of blending in the environment. Do you want to open it here, or do you want to wait?
I want to wait until I'm in the clear. Maybe head to a bathroom stall
Okay.
once I'm back in the building.
All right. Yeah, we'll say you can do that. No problem. We'll say at one point you even pass by like two of the military guys, who just like walk past you without even noticing that you're carrying their like accordion file right next to them. And you find a men's bathroom, find the stall, and you open it up, and very quickly you realize what this is. It's a series of files on all of you.
Ooh,
Yes.
they're good.
Every single one of you. Who are you? Do you date of birth, where you live, known acquaintances, all that kind of stuff. So everything from your family to your friends, part of the group. Like they have files on all of you. They have files. They have like notes about parents and stuff in here. Where you tend to hang out. If any of you have jobs, every detail you can possibly imagine. And there's even, as you're reading through these notes, to like certain stuff that you guys don't really share with most people, including the fact that you apparently like to hang out a lot on the salt flats, stuff like that. So there's things about you that looks like they have been collecting information. Maybe
Having
from
my dad work in as a civilian contractor for military, kind of know my way around files like this. So I was looking at the top of each page or at the bottom to find out if there's a operation word for whatever this operation is.
No. Okay, actually, I'll say this, that there actually is. There's what's called you see the phrase, the Carrier Project?
Carrier project, right? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be on there. I believe you. If you say it's on there, I believe you. It's on there.
Is there a chain of custody telling like who directed the information to be gathered?
Okay. I'll say right up to it goes right to the highest ranking officer that's referenced is Colonel Montgomery Chatham.
Chatham. All right. Awesome. All right, so I pull all the files, paper out of the folder. I destroy the folder, just shred it up, put it in the trash can, but I'm keeping the files. So if my name's on there, they may be looking for me. So I wait till everyone's gone, and assuming these got the shitty drop ceilings, right? So I'm just gonna bundle them up and hide them inside the drop ceiling.
Okay, I like it.
So I'm not caught with them.
Perfect, no problem. And
Nice.
yeah. And you're gone for
Flush the folder though.
yeah, you're gone for a little while, but I will say this: Allison and Steven, you get for like the third time while you're in class. Edward's gone. People come in and talk to the whole class once again, pleading with you for information on where Nicholas is, and we need to know. It's incredibly important. And I assume none of you say anything. And they
might try and like see if I can nudge someone else in the class to say like, why is it so damn important? But
Okay, roll a charm test. See if you can convince somebody else to say something.
No.
You want to push?
Why not?
Okay.
Yay!
Okay. So we'll say Tiffany is in the class with you. Levi's Tiffany.
I feel like you can like kind of like talk at somebody and they'll be the person who volunteers to ask loudly because they
Steven,
don't
I'm
get
trying
it.
to. Fine. I'll ask. Fine. If you cannot sound fine. Why is it so important that you get Nicholas? Like, we've heard this all day. This is ridiculous. He's not that important. He's not even that good looking. I don't understand why. Levi is way better. And the
True.
and like the soldier is like, for a few different reasons, ma'am. Family issues. It's very important. Do you know where he is? I don't know where he is. Oh my god. If anyone's gonna know, it's one of these two. They're friends with him. And so points over at Steven. Listen, at that point, like these would know. They hang out all the time. Oh my god. And Levi, but he's not here today because he's too cool for school. So anyway, he's probably getting me my CD too, because he said he would, because that's what he does. He does that type of thing.
She's slowly winning me over.
Somewhere the hands meet, your heart just feels warm. Okay. But presuming that you guys don't say anything else, and you continue to stonewall.
I mean, they've already talked to us.
Right. Yeah. So like nothing changes. We will cut back over then to the complex, where you all have put on some clothes. You look like teenagers in clothes of adults. And
Awesome.
who ended up getting like the stinky polo, and who ended
Yeah.
up getting the stinky butcher jacket?
Yeah. Who wants to stink and who wants to be pretty in pink?
Man, I'm gonna look good if I'm something in the stink or not. So, you know what? I'll take that butcher polo.
All right.
Okay.
How about you, Nikki?
I don't care. I'll take whatever one's left.
Well, I don't want to stink. I'll be pretty today.
All right.
I guess that leaves it for me.
So you guys get the clothes on. You can see that there's one way out of the other than the way you came in, to go into the outside through the employee exit. There is that frosted glass door that leads out of the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta go out that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are we going to? We're going to.
We're looking
Shit,
for
guys, I
canning,
forgot.
right?
You're,
we knew
you're
where
in the
Bailey
cannery.
worked.
You are literally in
Yeah.
the cannery right now.
Okay.
Okay. You open up the glass.
Yeah.
You open the frosted glass door, and you're just bombarded with noise. You hear the sounds of machinery, and you look off to your left, and you can see through another door, like these double doors at the end. You can see that there's like the floor, the cannery floor. There's also a series of what looks like offices in this hallway as well. So you can see there's a couple people in them here and there, a couple people on phones, kind of talking, leaning back in chairs, kind of on the phone. Whereas out through those double doors takes you to the factory floor.
Does anything stand out as like odd right away? Is there any like caution tape up or anything like that?
Okay. Roll an investigation test.
Let's see. One
Okay.
success.
You notice one thing catches your attention. You don't see any caution tape or anything like that, but you do see one of those signs that says there hasn't been an accident in X amount of days. You know what I'm talking about? Those things?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it says no accidents in 1 days.
Wow.
All right.
That's not foreboding at all.
That's about to be 0 again.
It could be worse. You could say no decapitations in 1 day.
Man, that's
Someone's
true.
erasing it and putting 0. It just happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Little
Saying that,
hands
I'm gonna,
running
like, check
around.
my wrists and hands, make sure I don't have any like loose jewelry or bracelets or anything. Tuck it in my pocket.
And I would also notice, actually, since you would also notice this, especially with Llewllyn here, you can see that there's in the office area there is a empty desk. Like there is a desk where there's no one, it's unattended, and it looks to be like cleaned up. And I'll say that you notice that there's one of those small little nameplates that has the name of your neighbor. And you can see like it looks like it's been cleaned up, and that there's a box sitting in it, one of those business boxes. There's like you can see what looks like a fern coming up out of it, and like and that's where you see the nameplate sticking up out of it. It's like someone cleaned up her desk.
Oh, we gotta go dig through that.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are other people in the office area. So how do you want to handle this?
Just walk in like you're supposed to be there.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, no. Just totally look like we're some sort of intern. Like, just walk in there, pick it up, carry it.
Okay. So you just who's gonna do it? And
I'll do it.
who's wearing
Oh,
what
there.
clothes when you do that?
I'm wearing the.
Oh, you're the
sorry.
pretty one. Yeah, you go.
I-
You go.
I'm wearing
pretty
the
I
man.
don't
bright
want to
pink
draw
shirt.
any attention to my face.
Okay.
And I'm just doing my best to just scrunch up my face. Like I'm incredibly pissed about having to do this.
Okay.
Fucking kidding me? I have to come in here and pick up this bullshit.
Okay. You go inside. Why don't you roll? Oh gosh, I don't even. Let's make it. Just make it a charm test. It's sort of like a performance. You're just wandering in, making this look good, or look appropriate. I guess is maybe the best. So yeah, roll a charm.
Okay, I'll give it a try. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, you could be wanted by the military, but you could get turned into canned meat. There's lots of things.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you wander in. A couple people are kind of spinning around. You can hear what sounds like people trying to make sales. It definitely sounds like there's this one woman in the corner door. Like she's got her own desk. You can see that there's some kind of like managerial title that she has, and the door is cracked open, and she's like yelling. Like you can hear her like screaming. Like she's on the phone with somebody, and she's incredibly upset. And I'll say that because you came in here, you hear her like scream like, "We've worked with them for 20 years and we've never changed an order. Well, we haven't in 2 years. What the hell are you talking about? 20? What do you mean you don't know who we are? What are you talking about? We're one of your best customers in the Southwest." And you can see her get up and just slam the door shut. And it just like rattles, and everyone's distracted with that. And you just walk up, you pick up the box, and you turn around. Someone who's like kind of on the phone like looks up at you, just does one of those like little nods to you, and just kind of goes back to work.
Awesome.
So yeah, you come back out into the hallway that's between the locker rooms and the offices, and you have a box of stuff.
That's awesome. You just wear what you need to wear. You walk the walk, and you like look like you have purpose, and everything just works
man.
out fine.
That's all it takes.
That was great.
Social engineering.
Yeah, I'm a fucking engineer.
All right, so what do you guys want to do with this?
Stick through this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The battle's looking like you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm just dumb enough to believe in myself for anything.
All right, so you're digging through this, and most of it is pretty benign stuff. You see a couple framed pictures of her kid. You see a couple random desk tchotchkes. You see what looks like, personal items and things. Like I said, the fern, the plant. All of that seems to be normal stuff. But there's one thing that seems kind of interesting to you, and that is what looks like a photocopied paper of an accident report. And it describes your neighbor as having fell off a ladder and broke her hip, and apparently like medical leave is being approved.
Fall off a ladder. That's not real exciting.
She didn't look like she had a broken hip when we saw her last night, right?
That's correct. You also note that the date doesn't line up. The date specifically says it says yesterday. And you saw her last night. She didn't, she was with other issues, but she didn't look like she broke her hip or anything. She wasn't in the hospital or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Does it have like her signature on it?
Yes, it does. Sorry.
Maybe like forged or something, but it's still weird.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how well you would know her, Llewllyn. Llewllyn, roll an empathize test.
Okay. Let's see here. How much empathy I got? Oh, I
just-
actually have a rank of empathy. How about that?
Maybe you get lucky on this. You don't really know her that well. You can't say you really remember her handwriting off the top of your head. So
I don't know.
if you found some other handwriting of hers, maybe you could match it up. But
Does it say where she fell in the plant?
it says in the
yeah.
cannery.
Just in the cannery?
Well, it says
mean-
factory floor.
Factory floor.
So, is step 2 send somebody out to the floor?
Yeah, you want to go check it out?
Well, I mean, you're the one who's got the big boy butcher shirt on.
Fuck yeah, I'll go take a look, man.
Awesome. Social engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are dorks. Okay. All right, you go. So you go out onto the factory floor, and the minute you open those double doors, you are bombarded with the most amount of noise you have heard since you and your band were playing. Like, it's just intense. There's all sorts of things. There's people shouting. There's the sounds of machinery. There's, like, you can see an assembly line is kind of going as people are kind of stocking stuff up. There's a forklift moving. You hear a beep, beep, beep somewhere in the distance. But it's a very busy place. There's ladders, there's rafters, there's like little metal stairs that kind of go up to what looks like some sort of like supervisor office up top. But yeah, it's a fairly big area. What are you looking to do, Levi?
Do I see any like roped off area, any damaged areas, anything like that might have been, possibly affected by whatever the hell happened to the annex?
No, you do not. As you start to move around a little bit,
Yeah.
like no one really kind of gives you a second glance. Like you're wearing what you're supposed to be wearing, so no one's really giving you. Like, you see other people are dressed similarly, but you don't notice any signs of like broken equipment or anything like that. No, or like cordoned off such and such. Yeah, nothing like that.
Okay. I want to do a sweep of the area, see if there's anyone acting squirrely. I want to go hassle them.
Okay, roll an investigation check. Squirrely.
Squirrely canners.
No, I want to push that.
Okay. If you fail, you fall into a meat grinder or something.
I'm cool with that. I got a success. You know what? I want to take exhausted for that condition.
Okay. All right. I mean, you have been working a little bit, so.
Yeah. I'm finally that manual labor's catching up.
Okay. So you overhear a couple people talking about Patty. And there's confusion. Like you just overhear two people kind of talking about it. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean she got hurt last night? Doesn't make any sense. I saw her leave. I saw her leave. She was fine. Like, doesn't make any sense. So you just kind of overhear that. You also overhear some conversations about like people wondering what the hell's going on in like the stocks. Like, what the hell are they doing in the stocks? Why do we have exterminators here? So there's
All right.
a lot of those types of questions going on.
That's I think that's the information I needed to hear. I want to go reconvene with the other two. Be like, we got to get to the stocks. That's where shit's going down.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll say you guys reconvene and we'll kick back over as school ends. And Edward, Stephen, and Allison, you can kind of go off and do whatever it is that you feel like doing today. So school's over.
As soon as I can get together with you guys, we're like, hey, guys, we cannot go home. These people, they got files on all of us. Me, you, all of us.
Great.
Our parents, I mean, who we hang out with, where we hang out, they know about the dust flats.
That would explain when I talked to them. They're looking for my cousin. I said I hadn't seen him, and like he knew I was lying. Like there wasn't even a second.
Oh yeah,
Like, he
they've
knew
got
for
us
sure.
under surveillance. They've been doing some data mining on us. I mean, they even got like a code phrase for this operation. I've already forgotten it. What's the code phrase?
It was Project Carrier, or Carrier
Carrier.
Project. I can't
Carrier
remember.
project.
Project,
Yeah.
I mean-
Carrier project.
I got grilled a little earlier, but I think I got by under the radar. So, I mean,
Well, hey, I stole our files. I got them stashed right now, so like they won't like catch it on us. Let's wait till the coast is clear, everyone's gone, and we can go retrieve them. But yeah, all of us. It's just not. Yeah. Wow. I don't even know what to think.
Why do
So,
they care? Like,
laying low is not working so well, then.
Well, thinking about those papers, does it seem like nothing goes back further than the last time we were at the flats and the thing happened?
It seems to be mostly like high school like kind of high school years. It's kind of tracking that back. Most of it it's really just sort of like almost like it's taking your school records, but then it's adding on to it a bunch of social stuff on top of it. Like
Okay,
as if
so basically
asked.
everything that could be had by a badge and just yeah,
There's not like any sort of
right.
Yeah, it's just somebody who did some good
Historical.
investigative work and learned who you're friends with and that kind of stuff.
Joke's on them. They have down. They think I only sell weed.
well, I think that and our parties are the least of our concerns at the moment. Where are we gonna go then? Like, they know every place that we would go.
Yeah, so we got to find a new place that we haven't hung out at before.
I mean, and what's to say they won't follow us there?
Well,
Is it-
I mean, their data
work?
isn't that great. I mean, it doesn't have like day to day what we do, just stuff like all of our high school records, our medical records, probably. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, medical records, parents, people known to hang out. You know, it's like it's not like they're following us and getting minute detail, but they definitely have.
Mm.
You know, they know all of our normal places. I say we head out of town a little bit.
How can we get
Anybody
word
know
to the
anybody
other
in the
side?
suburbs that you can hang out with, or maybe a place that the people are gone on vacation that we can break into?
Yeah, I mean, we've got an aunt that's out of town, but
No.
I feel like they
It's a
probably know
relation.
that.
It's got to be somebody that's not connected to any of us.
There's always caves.
You guys can also
Oh,
roll
man.
contact and just come up
You
with
know how
one of
bad that internet connection in the caves are?
It's like 14.4.
Hey, that goes both ways.
If you want to roll, if one of you wants to roll a contact, you can roll contact test, and if you're successful, you can just say, "Yes, I have a contact who I know so and so is."
I would
Just
be
one of
rolling-
us, or can we all roll?
I would be rolling 8 for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
you should
go ahead.
probably
Go ahead and roll. Whoever's got the best, we'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
One success.
All right. So, who might Allison know who is going out of town? Because it is. We'll say it's end of the week, so people might be going out of town for. So, who's going out of town for the weekend? Who's somebody Allison might know? Non-fan.
I'm gonna say that she was about to be planning a party at somebody else in the senior class who the whole family was going out of town
Okay.
for the weekend, and so she was gonna do a party there, but like obviously like other shit's been going on, so she never really got around to it. So like it's not somebody that you would ever socially connect
Mhm.
us. It was gonna be one of those like
You were gonna break into someone's house and have a party at their house.
Mhm.
Okay. What's their name?
their name
I love Esnes of Melissa. Bernard who?
Andrea Rogers.
Okay. Andrea and Bernard Rogers.
So Andrea's the kid,
Okay.
and Bernard and
I'm just riffing
Dolores
off the
are the
weekend at
parents?
Bernie's. Okay, Bernard and Dolores. Wow. It's 1945. Apparently. Okay. So
Andrea's the kid.
okay, so they're going out of town. All right. They're probably not out of town just yet, but they're
Yeah.
because she was probably in school. But they wouldn't they would probably be leaving sometime in the afternoon after school's out. So you have a little bit of time. What do the three of you want to do? I don't think any of you have the only person I think who had a car was Llewellyn. So
Yeah, we might have to hoof it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna have to get word to them to not go home after they leave Ham's.
Well, I mean, considering we're like fugitives at this point, that can steal either Dad's or Chet's car. One of the two is probably in the driveway.
Do we have any friends who can drive? Maybe other friends that might, have some vested interest in this party, perhaps.
Roll a contact, Steven.
Oh boy.
Give me 20 minutes. I'm going to invent Uber and we'll be all set.
Oh my gosh, it's a shame that Edward's dying because he's going to make so much money off that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, people are kind of steering clear of you, Steven, when you're trying to ask to get a ride.
That's
Everyone,
expected.
yeah, everyone's like, they kind of saw what happened today. People were kind of in your face and Allison's face, and they just like, we don't want anything to do with that. No, thank you.
I mean, that's normal, anyways.
Is there public transportation?
Sure, you can get on buses and things. There's no fancy like subway or anything, but yeah, you can get on some buses.
Hey, this is America. Of course there's not.
No scooters that we can rent.
No. No, unfortunately not. Okay, so assuming you get on a public transport, where do you want to head?
I mean, I'm definitely worried about my brother, and I don't want him to go home.
But we need to get to a place that's got a phone. We're going to need something more long-term for transportation. We're going to need to get around. So we need to let's get to this place. Let's check it out. Grab a phone. Let's start reaching out to whoever we can. And where is your brother right now?
He went to do the day work.
Right. Oh yeah, right. Man, the meat plant. Right.
He and Nick are over there.
They should be getting out anytime soon. Has anybody got a license? I mean, forget the car right now. Does anyone got a license?
You're all old enough to, so unless
No,
you
Edward's not.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah,
Okay,
Edward's
so
not,
Allison
no.
and Steven, I think you're both old enough to. You're probably 16, 17, 18 in those ranges. So
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to the idea of it.
yeah, that's fine. You can have it. It's not,
Go
it's reasonable. Both of you can have it. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so you both have driver's licenses. Okay.
All right. So can I make a contacts roll to see if I can find somebody that I deal to that might have a car they can loan us?
Sure.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
A success.
Okay, so names. So who's somebody who you think you would know?
This is Dusty Miller.
Okay.
His father has actually got a used car lot. And he's deep into me, like he owes me, but he's kind of a cool guy, so I let it pass.
In case you need those favors.
Yeah. Just like, hey, Dusty, you got a car you can grab off your dad's lot I can borrow?
Okay. He's like,
Oh, I'm not driving. Don't worry about that. It's not me. I mean, there's going to be a licensed driver for it.
if I do this, then like we're square then, right?
Oh man, not only are we square, I mean, I'll hook you up.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you got now?
Let's say your usual for the next month.
A month? That sounds cool. Like the rest of the year sounds cooler though.
Well, how cool of a car can you get me? I mean, honestly, I don't need it to be cool. It would be preferable if it was like a van or a hatchback of some sort with a lot of room.
Okay.
And like in not so conspicuous, something in like a brown or a,
Conspicuous.
not a colorful car, something that'll blend
Okay.
in, man. You watch the cop shows.
Yeah. 21 Jump Street was like really transformative for me. So
Okay, there's a lot of Trans Ams in 21 Jump Streets that for some reason high schoolers had. So I don't want a Trans Am, man.
Okay.
Something spacious.
Okay, I can find. I think we got like a new Dodge Caravan. Do you want one of
Ooh.
those?
Is it run all right?
I mean, I guess, yeah. Like,
All right, make sure it runs all right. Fuel it up. Come and meet me at. Give the address of the place that we're. Right.
okay.
And I'll float you. I'll float you a couple weeks worth right now. I mean, I can't give you a year's worth all at. Well, I mean, let's be honest. If I gave you a year's worth all at once, you're just gonna snort it all today.
Yeah, but it's like only. I meant like 2 months worth. Like I meant the end of the year. But no, never mind. I'll take a year's worth.
Well, just make sure that the
So-
car runs well. Hey, actually, gas it up. Throw a couple of jerry cans of gas in there too, if you would. And guys, what else do we need? Rope, duct tape.
At this point, roll a charm test to see how much he's willing to give you. Roll a charm test to see if he's willing to give you less. You're gonna get the car no matter what.
A
That's
shovel, a tarp.
Okay.
Shovel,
He's like,
tarp.
okay, shovel, duct tape. Okay, okay. So, about an hour later, you give him like an empty lot down the street from
Some
the high
Jim's and a
school
Dr.
to
Pepper.
pick you up in. It is like a nastiest looking Dodge Caravan. Like, it's one of those. It's almost like a bronze color, and when you see like the headlights kind of cracked a bit, but it looks, everything's all right.
Fogged up.
There's a couple dents here and there.
Yeah.
And
As
he
long as
pulls
it looks
in.
like it passes inspection,
You'll
we're
be
good.
okay, yeah. And so he pulls over and he's like, okay, I got some stuff, but I gotta get back to. Oh wait, how
Cool,
am I getting
yeah.
back to work?
We'll drive you.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, just let me just duck into the school real quick. I'll hook you up a little bit, and I also go and grab the paperwork.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I would say at this point it's been long enough that the military guys aren't there anymore, and so you're just kind of seeing, whatever teachers are left or whatever kind of after school, programs like sports stuff, and so it's not that big a deal.
Clubs and stuff.
Yeah, clubs and things like that, and so you're able to very easily go and grab it from the restroom, come back out, and yeah, you get yourselves a crappy Dodge Caravan, and you take them back. And at that note, I think we'll switch over to the meat complex, where Levi has just come back. What do you guys want to do next?
We gotta head over to the stockade. So I think that should be our next step, is sneaking over there.
Sounds good. Maybe for like just a second, peek in on little shit over there, see if he's still napping.
Okay. You go over and you peek, come out the door, look off to your right, sneak down the alleyway a little bit, peer around the corner, and you can see that the dudes are still working. There's over by where the water is, you can see he's awake, but he's just kind of flipping through his magazine right now, and he seems to have noticed that you guys are missing.
Would be reading like mad at this point.
Yeah. All right. So okay. So little bastard's awake. He's not fully paying attention, but I don't know.
I mean, hasn't noticed we're gone yet. Doesn't seem to be freaking out, man. Let's just.
All right.
I mean, we didn't come here not to look around.
That's a good point. I was like, maybe I should go back and actually work to like, be the false face, and then you guys can actually get stuff done. But at the same time, is that even worth it, or should we just all go investigate?
Let's just all go, man.
All right, yeah, fuck it. Social engineering.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it means. It just sounds really cool.
Here in Llewellyn.
It's the term for like pretending to be somebody, walking into a building with a clipboard.
Yeah.
pretending like
Oh
you're-
man, I want a clipboard so bad.
Yeah.
This might be your chance.
Life goals. Get a clipboard.
Yeah.
Okay, so you head back down that little alleyway behind the cannery. You pass by a few people who have, who are like getting their smoke break and everything. They kind of give you like a weird look. but then they kind of shrug because they don't give a shit. And they go back to smoking their cigarettes and everything. And you move past them, and you peek around like the far end. The cannery is a fairly large building, and you peek around on the complete opposite side, this long rectangular building. And you can see in the back of the complex there are these. Well, they almost look like circus tents. Like they're huge. They're pale, and they have a series of those kind of metal walkway walls that you see at like concerts and stuff that are kind of trying to keep people corralled in a proper way. You would imagine that's not for people, but like for weaving in and out. From a distance, why don't you guys roll an investigation test? Now that you're a little bit closer, there might be some other things you could potentially see.
Investigate.
Investigate, yeah. I'm using investigate kind of like a observation search type thing. Oh,
Nice.
okay. So now that you guys are a little closer, you can see that the 2 extermination trucks are they got this B logo on it, and you can see now that you're a little bit closer, there's the company name called Bugs Be Gone, but the B is BEE. And I would say that all of you with successes, all 3 of you got this. You guys know that, like, it sounds vaguely familiar, but there is a Terminex over by where you live, Levi, and you've seen Terminex around the suburbs and stuff, and you've seen, the school uses them. It's a fairly common thing. There's a couple different locations around downtown and by the trailer parks and stuff. Nicholas, you, I think, would recognize Bugs Be Gone, in fact, because I would say with your 1 success, if memory serves, it's a place that's like way out east. You know that your neighbor Aaron owns an automotive shop that is out on the highway, headed eastward towards the military base and further into like New Mexico and such. And you think it's over there. You're pretty sure. You vaguely remember maybe seeing at some point like that stupid B logo, like in a strip mall area off the highway over there. But maybe you haven't gone there
It's
specifically.
still quite a ways farther out than like the Terminex.
Yeah, Terminex is centrally located. This is not a centrally located place. This is nowhere near like the population centers where most people would be calling exterminators.
Okay. Off the top of my head, do I like know anybody whose like dad works there or anything?
Not there, no.
Okay.
But you do, yeah. Your neighbor, has their shop near it, if memory serves. There's like a whole there's like a whole run of like shops, like really like kind of specific shops. There's like a truck stop shower / strip club called Skankles. There's like a diner off the road. There's like Aaron's Automotives, which is both gas station and an automotive shop and tow truck operator. And like that's all out east. And then there's like the radio station is out there, and then like the military base is out there as well. It's like way out to the east. Okay, and let's see what else. Okay. With 2 successes, you guys do notice that there also seems to be something behind the giant tents. You can see that there is some large series of tarps that are covering something behind the tent flaps further south into the complex, right? Like as it's reaching like the back tall like metal electrified fence that separates the complex from the wild desert dustland, scrubland to the south. It looks like there's something back there that's piled up with these like blue tarps as well.
Is that the desert like towards where the storm happened?
Storm happened basically everywhere, but you guys experienced the storm for like kind of to the northwest, over by the Salt Flats. This is also on the west side of town, but it's more to the south.
Okay.
But yeah. That's about all I can give you, but I will hold the investigation successes for some of you. I might give you some stuff later. But that's all you can see
Yeah.
probably from here.
Sounds like that's the way we need to go.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's do it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Raid.
So do you guys want to go try to sneak
Raid.
into the tent thing, or do you want to go peer at what was in those tarps? Oh, thank you for the raid, North Foundry. Appreciate it. Thank you so
You can
much.
probably
Whichever
tell-
one's closest,
Okay.
and then the other.
I mean, do we know it's getting a little bit later in the day? Maybe we split.
You probably got about an hour or so before. It's probably like 3:34. So you got a little bit of time. But yeah, North Foundry, we were playing Things from the Flood tonight. Playing a little mystery landscape, kind of weird desert city town area, and they are currently in a meat company's complex, sneaking around it because they're suspicious of weird stuff with meat for some reason. But yeah, so where do you guys want to go?
I
We
kind of
just
want to
gotta-
look. Yeah, I love splitting the party.
Wait,
Always a good idea.
I don't know. 3 of us, we're here.
Yeah.
If shit goes down, we got a better chance of fighting some assholes off. Let's stick together. Just pick one, man.
You said there's stuff like under the tarps, and then stuff like
Yeah,
past the back of the room.
it's definitely there's mounds behind that kind of sort of large circus tent. There's like mounds that seem to be covered in tarps. I will
Take a
say,
look
if
at
it
that
makes it
first.
I'm
easier,
very curious about that.
okay, you have seen people going in and out of that like kind of circus tent temporary stocks area. You currently don't see anyone in the back by where those tarps are.
Yeah, let's check that out.
Okay.
All right. So since you're just going back there, you don't need to roll stealth or sneak, I should say. But you get back there, and when you get within about 10 feet, you can tell, like at a certain point, most of what you've been walking on is kind of gravel. Like they've laid pebble down and gravel some kind. It kind of becomes dirt after a while. But you get within about 10 feet of this thing, and all of you are just bombarded with the most foul-smelling stench that you've smelt in quite some time.
Wonderful.
Go ahead and roll force tests to see if you can, because it's just like a big slap in the face.
Ugh. I want to get slapped in the face.
Okay, so you get slapped in the face. So go ahead and take a condition.
Like, it's not that bad.
Doesn't make sense to
Like,
push
take
this
up
because
set.
either way you would be taking you in. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
Um,
It just smells awful.
Does it smell similar to the meat monster that we fought last night?
It's got that kind of like, yeah, it's got that kind of odor, but I wouldn't say it's that specific. This just smells more like just terrible rot.
Okay.
And you also notice that you're close enough that there's all sorts of like flies and stuff flying around it.
Yeah.
Things about 20 by 20 feet, we'll say, and then like it's maybe about 6-7 feet up off the ground.
Gross.
Not like something that smells so bad you can taste it.
It is. You feel it in your mouth. You don't really feel very hungry. You guys probably haven't eaten today, but you're not hungry at the
Yeah.
moment.
I guess with my 3 successes, I'll tank the brunt of it and
Okay.
lift the tarp, see what it is.
You lift the tarp, and you are immediately faced with a very gruesome display of cows and all sorts of horrible injuries. You can see some of them have huge chunks that have just sort of been ripped out of their sides, their flanks. A few seem to have suffered something in the shoulder and the head, almost as if things kind of burst or popped. And yeah, you're looking at maybe about 20 of these. And because you had 3 successes, I'm not gonna have you roll again. but you do feel a little bit of a gurgling kind of coming up into your throat. Your stomach starts to roll a little bit. You hold down the vomit, and as you peel back the layers of the different tarps here and there, it's just brutal, horrible, sad, like injuries of some kind. And it's not. This is a like a butchery. They kill these animals, but this is not carved. This is brutal, almost like shotgun shells, explosions, something bursting out of it, or something like that. Yeah.
I want to kind of look and see, like, do I see like the puncture holes in the foreheads to look like they were killed?
Okay.
You know,
All
the way they were supposed to.
Roll.
Like, does it look like these things happened after they were killed normally, or does it look like they died from these injuries?
If you're looking for like the rod that goes into the forehead, that kind of stuff, you don't see that. No, you don't see that. But go ahead and roll an investigate check. This is going to be kind of like this. You try this pretty quickly.
1 success.
I will say, as you're peeking around at one of these, like, you're lifting up the head a little bit just so you can see, like, the side of its body has been exploded outward. You see the rib cage. It's brutal to look at. You do notice in some of the sections, like, there's some bare skin patches. You do notice several, like, wounds, like puncture wounds and little bites and things all over the body.
Bites?
Yeah, like injections or bug bites, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Like really small?
No, I mean, it's fairly noticeable. Yeah, it's fairly noticeable. And
okay.
Yeah.
These like big sections that look like they like exploded or whatever, does it look like it's torn off, or does it look like maybe it was like a tumor or something that got cut away?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like it's been cut. Like, it's just the type of trauma that's been suffered here is super erratic. The tissue itself is just ripped and shredded as opposed to cut and sliced.
Okay.
And you also don't really see, like, if one of them's like missing a giant chunk of its shoulder, you don't see the shoulder anywhere. One of them, it just looks like their head is just missing, and all that's left is just the cavity of the neck as it goes into the shoulder. It's really gruesome.
Yeah. Okay. I'll relay that a little bit to the others. Like, I don't know if you guys want to look at this. I'd advise against it, but
yeah, man, it smells bad enough. I don't need to see it.
Okay.
It looks worse than it smells. There's like cows that are super messed up. They're missing body parts, and yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to them.
All right. As you guys step away from the tarps to reassess, we'll switch out, and Edward, Allison, Stephen probably driving the caravan. You've dropped off Dusty Miller back at the used car lot. And where were you headed? Were you gonna head to the meat company, or were you to try to catch the rest of them, or were you headed to the Rogers home?
How long do we have before the shift should be over?
Figure school got out around 3:30. You guys had about an hour, probably about a half an hour or so before their shift would be over, maybe.
I mean, I think our goal was to try and intercept them.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just go and get them.
Okay, so you're just gonna kind of go linger. All right. Okay. When you when you get to the meat company, I'll say all of you, you find a kind of a parking space out in the large lot, not within the actual grounds that's protected from their large, comically secure electrical fence that surrounds a meat company. There is employee parking inside the grounds, and so this is just sort of this large visitors lot. You can also see Crystal Breweries, the beer company, They have a smaller complex for their brewing neighbors in a way. But you park, and I would say you can, despite the fact that you can't get inside the complex, you can see clearly through this chain link fence, and all of you immediately would see them because you saw them all day. But you see these military vehicles sitting in the administrative parking lot. There's 2 of them sitting right there. The same type of vehicles you saw at school today. The same type of vehicle you broke into, Edward.
So I got
They're
close
there.
enough to actually look at plates. Are they the same vehicles?
No, but you do see, you definitely see like the base plate, the standard kind of base plate, but it has a different serial number.
Okay.
So maybe we can just hang out, wait for the car to drive out, and just follow.
Yeah.
And then at some
yeah.
point, just honk and get their attention and kind of pull them off.
Let's make sure they're not being followed, maybe. And yeah.
Either that, or do we want to try and catch them before they even get to the car?
I mean, can you do that? Is like there a
'Cause
way
they're
to drive up
behind.
front, like as everyone is coming off of work? Is there an area where you can drive right up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe do that then.
Without getting through security? Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we were on the outside of security.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. You can't. You wouldn't be able to pass right now because you don't actually have any badges. Okay. So you're just hanging around and you're kind of keeping an eye out for
Yeah,
your
see if we
friends
can see them
and for them
coming out.
moving. Okay. All right. We'll say about 20 minutes go by, and you see a group of people come out of the administration building. 4 of them are kind of wearing the same kind of dark black getup that you saw from the various MPs that were wandering around your high school today. They blend in. They could be anybody, just sort of run of the mill. However, Edward, you recognize somebody, and they're not dressed in that same gear, but they're just kind of dressed in what looks like a professional button down, slacks, got a tie on.
The most dangerous person.
You recognize your father's partner, Chet,
Chet.
and he's talking a little bit with what looks like a couple of the MPs, what looks like a few of the people in the administration of Ham's Meats that are in those big pink disgusting logos, like Miami Vice pink logos with their like he's talking to like their like managers and stuff. They shake some hands, and he gets in what looks like a kind of a black sedan of some kind, like a big old like Ford Taurus type, you know.
I knew we should have stole his car. He's selling us out. I know he's selling us out right now.
And you see him back out, and he leaves the lot. So you see him coming, kind of backing out of his space, the administration lot, pulling up to the main entrance near where you guys are, and he's pulling out and driving away.
Bastard.
Okay. So we'll switch back over to the other guys then. You guys are so Levi, Llewellyn, Nicholas. You just looked at these horrible, cruel deaths of these cows.
Yep.
But you're still in the back. You can still see those 2 vehicles that have the bees begone. You still see there's a giant circus tent. What do you guys want to do?
I am curious what's in the circus tent.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we need
Still
to poke
haven't
our
got
heads in
enough
there.
information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to just go in there, or
Oh,
do you
yeah.
want to try to sneak in there,
Or like, do
Uh,
we do a distraction?
or
We've
that?
seen people going in and out of there, right?
You have seen
Right.
some people go in and out. I will say this:
Well,
you've
yeah.
seen people, you've seen people either in like hazmat suits or wearing like lab coats go in there, like big old white lab coats. You haven't seen anybody just in sort of basic administrative butchery
Different
gear.
attire.
Okay.
could we pick up the back flap, like at the back of this tent, and just like roll under?
We can certainly roll some dice to see. So yeah,
I think let's
Uh,
just sneak in, just slip in the back, poke around. If anyone notices, just like, hey, we got lost. Like I thought
Uh,
this was the annex we were supposed to be
I have
working
an
at.
idea.
Yeah.
Is there like a loose leg in this cow pile?
Yes, there's a loose leg in the cow pile.
All right, I'm gonna grab a loose leg
Oh, God.
and try and toss it in the back of the circus tent.
You're gonna open up a flap. You're gonna reach the flap up and throw the thing in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus, Nikki, you're so gross.
Oh boy. I'm gonna roll. I'm just gonna roll to see something. To see if something happens.
Think it up.
Social engineering.
Okay.
Social
no sixes.
engineering.
Social engineering.
Social
And
engineering.
when I
is the
do
word of the
that,
night.
that'll buy us time.
I guess the social engineering thing is actually better than the bulge night on Alien that one time. Just bulge. Okay. So
Maybe.
you open up you flip open the flap and you throw the leg inside. You listen carefully. You hear no reaction whatsoever. None. You don't hear like cows freaking out. You don't hear people freaking out. You hear nothing. You wait like 2 minutes and there's no reaction whatsoever.
Either really good or really bad.
Tales from the bulge.
That's fantastic.
Means there's probably more of that inside,
Yeah, let's just go in, man.
or they haven't noticed it.
Okay, Levi, roll a sneak.
No, but, like, has anybody
Yeah.
gone in or out in this time?
In the time that you've been back there, like when you like kind of like did like the circumvat thing all the way back to the tarp area, yeah, people have come in and out. You've seen those like those exterminator guys come out. They've got their special gear on, masks and stuff. They're masked up, and they've got these canisters. Looks like they've put like the empty one back onto the truck. Got like a new one. Wheeled that inside. Whatever the hell they're doing inside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Levi, if anybody wants to sneak under, you got to roll a sneak. Levi, you lift open the flap where he just threw the leg, and you roll underneath. Are either of you going to?
All right.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, go for it, man. Sneak.
I'm gonna wait for like 2 seconds
Okay.
and
Wait
see
for
if
2
they
seconds.
like. I'm gonna wait and like see if they start talking to somebody that immediately notices them, because I'm
Okay.
trying really hard for people to not see my face.
I'm not going to tell them what they see until you make a decision on whether you go under or not. You going under?
I'm going under
Okay.
if I don't hear any talking for like about 5 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You don't hear any talking for 5 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
And then I'm gonna do a stealth.
Oh no.
I'm gonna use my shame.
Okay. I think you're the only one who really uses their shame.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
helpful.
It is pretty
Okay.
helpful. It's an auto success. So, okay. So you use your shame. What's your shame? How does it come into play here?
My shame is I feel my failures and misfortunes are in my blood. So,
All right.
it's I feel like he's like he doesn't want to go under, but we're pretty far in at this point. He's like, I can't, come away with not having achieved anything from this. And,
You're not going to turn out like
it?
your brother or your dad,
yeah.
something like that. Okay. And so you just like, hell with it. I'm going in. You roll
Yep.
under. And the three of you are now into what looks like a temporary stock area. You can see that there are more of those kind of metal dividers. There's a couple corrals that have been set up. There's huge groups of cows that have been set up. You guys happen to roll under a relatively empty quadrant of this tent area. There's no animals where you all have been rolled under. It's mainly what looks like a series of sort of like Rubbermaid containers. You see a few things as you come inside. You notice that there are a couple people that in the same gear, those bees begone folks, or bugs begone, excuse me, folks wandering around, and they have they have like almost like on furniture move dollies. They have these big old metal canisters that are attached to some kind of sprays, and they're just spraying these cows. They're just just spraying the cows with something.
That's
Are
weird.
these canisters labeled in any way?
From this
Obviously,
distance,
we
you
can see.
can't see anything. No, it doesn't seem so. You do
Okay.
see, like, danger and stuff like that, but you can't tell what they are from this distance.
Do I see any like radioactive symbols or anything on it?
You do not see a radioactive symbol, I will say that.
Okay.
How do the cows look?
They look a little, like, I would say from the distance you're at, like, from what you know of cows, they look a little anxious, maybe. Like, they're making a lot of noises when stuff's been sprayed on them, but it's like they're constantly being sprayed. Like, and there's at least 100, if not more, underneath it. Like, again, this is like a giant circus tent, basically. You see a couple other things just on the other side of where you're at. Like, you guys fortunate enough to be in a mix of these, like, various Rubbermaid boxes and things like that. You can see what looks like a series of like walls have been set up, and by that I mean more like hospital dividers.
Partitions.
So like those divisions with the curtains and things like that have been set up. And while you're back here, you can hear a periodic like coming from behind them. You can see floodlights have been set up here and there. And you can see shadows. And it looks like there's people that are working on cows behind there.
These Rubbermaid containers, how tough would it be like to get into one?
Just snap them open. They don't look to be locked.
Oh, I'm gonna peek inside one.
Yeah, so you just open them up, and it's most of them are empty, but some of them have some linens and some cloth, and like looks like this is what they were storing the various stuff that they have temporarily set up in. It's likely this is just the containers for them. Now, in addition to the guys that you see wandering around spraying, you do see that there's one other person who's in that same kind of Bugs Begone outfit that has what looks basically like an oven. So if you think of like kind of an old school looking oven, it's this big blocky device. There's this hum that seems to be coming from it, and every so often you see the fourth of the four Bugs Begone folks comes up, and they have what almost looks like a Ghostbuster pack, and they break it down, and they have like what looks like this large sack that they just dump into the oven that's flattened and opened. Then they close it up, punch some buttons, and then you hear and then it dies down.
That's intense.
What was that again, Jeff? I dare you to try that.
And then it dies down. You see him
That's fantastic.
reconnect the canister and wander back into the mass quantity of these cows, and you just hear the sound of a vacuum like going off as they seem to be vacuuming up around the dirt area, the gravelly area on which the cows are wandering around in.
We gotta peek behind one of these curtains, man.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Also, the canisters of the stuff that they're spraying on these cows, are there any of those that are unattended?
You have seen that they have brought empty ones back out to the vehicles that are out front, and they
And those are the-
reloaded and brought them back in. The Bugs Be
The
Gone.
Bug Be Gone?
vehicles. Yeah.
We should just steal one of those Bugs Be Gone vehicles, man.
The whole vehicle, or maybe just a canister?
The whole damn thing. Why not, man?
Because that's a lot harder to get away with.
Maybe it's easier. Who knows?
Anyway, let's peek behind the curtain,
Okay.
and then we'll debate on Grand Theft Auto.
Who's peeking behind the curtain?
Fuck it, I'll do it.
All right, Levi.
Oh.
You passed your
I've already
sneak
done my
test.
Curtain peeking.
Okay. You passed your sneak test. So you move around between the various boxes, these Rubbermaid boxes, You get an angle at one point. You don't get too close because there are people there, but you get an angle. And you see that there's some strange setup. It's like a series of these robotic mechanical arms that are attached to a long, heavy metal table. And they're moving around. There's a guy in a lab coat, like taking notes of some kind on a clipboard, Llewellyn. There's a woman who has like a little bit of a flashlight, and she's kind of shining it here and there and kind of examining this cow that's on top of this table. And Levi, you notice that this cow's head is enormous. It's like twice, 3, 4 times the size. It's got this big kind of pulsing that's happening to it, where the skin's just popping out.
That's fucked up. But it's kind of the fucked up that matches the other kind of fucked up we heard about where. All right.
So as you're watching, you see like these mechanical arms are kind of, they're like firing these tiny little lasers, and you see these little singe marks come up, these little smoke come up here and there. And then the man who's got the clipboard is like, you might want to back away. You might want to back away. You might want to back away, as he's like reading some kind of terminal that's next to one of the arms. And the woman backs off and steps a few feet back when that big bulbous head suddenly explodes in sort of a Gallagher-esque watermelon smashing fashion and cascades. And Llewellyn and Nicholas, who didn't necessarily sneak around, you see suddenly the hospital curtain wall is just coated. It's this red covering.
Like that scene from Cloverfield.
It's very much like that, exactly.
That's fucked up.
Sorry. Would you guys like
The
to
real
do?
question is, what was it filled with?
Yeah, maybe
Kool-Aid.
Levi got a good taste of it.
he wasn't that close, but that would be hilarious.
All right, man. I'll back up and I'll be like, dude, the fucking things like the head like that. It was fucking nuts. But we got to either get one of them canisters, because like, is the stuff they're spraying on the cows making the cows explode, or are they spraying stuff on the cows to keep the cows from exploding?
I mean, my guess is it's to keep it from exploding.
Right? I'm right there with
Okay.
you, I think.
I don't think they can, that's a lot of dead cow that they're not able to pack into the meat.
Yeah.
I really hope they're not packing into the meat. So,
I mean, Ed knows his
their
chemicals.
interest.
Maybe that's the whole point. Make cow bigger, cheaper meat.
So here's what I'm saying. If we get into one of these vans and we just drive out through the front gate, they see us by security, we're like, we'll be back in a few, and just drive on out.
Need more stuff. Bye.
But the thing I'm concerned about is that if we steal one of those big canisters with the spray nozzle, how are we going to walk out the front door with that?
Like, how big are we talking on these canister things?
They're quite big, yeah. They're
Okay.
if you think about the size of like a furniture dolly, they fit on the
Okay.
whole furniture dolly. They're that big.
Okay,
They're like
bless it.
bigger. They're like a very big oxygen tank. If you're, like, it's not like scuba diving oxygen tank. It's like tall oxygen tank, like a good
Yeah.
Okay.
4 feet tall, maybe.
Hmm.
While you guys are thinking, administration. Those of you who are watching through the fence, Edward, Allison, Stephen, the 3 of you notice that the military guys, they were chatting with whoever was in the pink shirts once Chet left, and they get in their car, and you can see each one of the vehicles gets like one vehicle gets 2 people, one on the driver's side, one on the passenger, one of the other ones just get a driver's side guy, one of the military guys hangs back, and they're still talking a bit with the foreman or whoever. And you can see that the 2 like kind of Humvee military vehicles back out, and instead of coming towards the entrance, they veer back and they start driving to the back parts, the southern parts of the complex. You can see them driving into the back. Simultaneously, inside of the tent, those of you who are watching what just happened, as Levi sneaks back to the group, kind of explains what he saw. You guys watch as the Bugs Begone guys wheel the canister out. One of them takes that oven, tips it back, and kind of wheels that out as well. So all of them are headed out, and they start leaving the tent at this point.
Time to catch a ride.
So what are you three in the tent doing?
And I'm muted. You can't hear a thing I ask when I'm muted. Like we got to get something to take back, right? I'm like, the tanks are too big. Stealing a van sounds really fun, but it's probably a really bad idea. Do we see like any like lab equipment, like petri dishes, microscope, slides, anything?
Folders, documents.
Yeah, I mean, over by where the examinations were being done, yeah, there's a couple, it looks like, computers actually that have been set up, and various chemical equipment, things like that.
I was just thinking, like, maybe if we could get a sample of whatever chemical this is and take it back, like see if I can like sneak and like grab a flask, head out to one of the vans and see if we can sprit some of that chemical into one of the, like, into like a flask. And
Okay, so you want to just sneak up and grab some random chemical off like the table. Go ahead and roll a sneak then.
yeah, nothing can go wrong here.
Are there any like drives or anything plugged into any of these computers?
I'm sorry, you're gonna push that, Levi?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you get up close and you realize right as you're about to like reveal yourself from your hiding place, the one guy with the clipboard steps out from behind the curtain and moves over towards the computer and just starts typing away, and then looks over into like the microscope for some reason, and then kind of records something on the computer and kind of blocking off, and you realize there's no way you're getting up there without him seeing you.
Cool.
Okay. Edward, Allison, and Steven, you still only see the one military guy out. You've lost sight of the two Humvees, which has gone to the rear of the complex. Anything in particular you three are doing?
We can still see their car, though, right? It hasn't left the lot yet.
Yeah, you can see Llewellyn's vehicle. Yeah.
The one guy out here be like watching it. Is it possible to see what he's doing?
Sure.
Like the military left a guy out here, right?
Okay. Okay. So, Steven, do you want to like get out and look, or do you want to just sort of stare from here?
I might take my chances and get out and.
Okay. You get out.
Something I'm right at.
Okay, since you're getting out, I'm not going to require a roll. So you get out and you go a little bit closer towards the complex and you look in. And it doesn't look like the military guy is paying attention to the parking lot whatsoever. It just looks like he's locked in conversation with one of those pink shirt guys from the office, the administration office. But I will say this, you do suddenly see a commotion break out over by what looks like a small workplace area. You can see that there's a group of people who are like scattering, climbing up out of a depression in the ground. Mm-hmm. You can see that there are a series of porta potties, and there's this small little tented area where somebody you recognize from high school, Little Ham, that son of a bitch, is there, and he like tries to get up really quickly, but he falls backwards in his chair, stumbles around on the ground a bit, then gets up.
I have a little laugh.
Yeah, and you see him kind of wander over to where all of these day workers are like scrambling up out, and like there's calls, people are freaking out about something.
Okay, well, so things aren't good in the camp.
And so this seems to get the attention this like of the guy in the pink and the military guy who are over by the administration building. They're like, what the, what? And then they start wandering over as well.
So leaving their car.
No, they're not in a car. They were just outside the administration building.
Okay.
The two
I
military
thought they
buildings
had
have
a-
already left, and they've driven further back into the meat complex. You've lost sight of them at this point.
Okay, I thought maybe they left a vehicle behind for them too, but
Allison
hard would-
Allison would turn to Edward and just say, like, would you know where they might be, or are we better just hanging out here and waiting for them to come out?
Exactly. Why do you think I know anything about a meat plant?
Because Chet works here. I didn't know if you would know anything.
Chet doesn't work here. Chet works for the military.
Oh, he was here. I thought.
Yeah,
No.
he shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well,
He's also a civilian contractor to the military. So I don't know.
Never trust the Chet. That's so true.
so true.
we might want to do some sneaking in your house then. There might be answers closer than you realize.
Oh, is the gate still occupied?
Let me roll some dice, actually. Okay, that's a good roll for you. It looks like the security, because there's a security shed that is right near. When we say gate, it's nothing too extravagant. It's just a horizontal bar that has to go up and down. So anybody
Sure.
who's walking could easily get past it. But you see, whoever was in the security shade is now running out from that small little building towards the commotion, and has left the entranceway unattended.
I mean, this might be a chance to sneak our vehicle in here. I might take a look in there and see if I can operate that gate.
Okay. Yeah. You go inside the small security shed. It has like these really old and very like old by our standards, like a couple small TVs here and there that looks to be like black and white CCTV footage with like that big of screens. There's like 4 of them. One of them looks to detail what looks like a large circus tent. Out in front of that large circus tent, there are several vehicles, including your missing military vehicles. You notice like one of those looks like it's the interior of one of the factory plant areas. One of them looks like it's just the entrance to the delivery section of the complex, which is a different entranceway. And then one of them looks to be like the administration parking lot area. And you can see that there's a couple buttons here and there, and it's just a very easy, you hit a button and the thing comes up. It's not a roll-worthy type of thing, if you want to do it.
Can we check to see if we can find them on any of the cameras?
At first glance, you do not see them. There are a lot of...
in the
Yeah.
tent right now, aren't they?
What's that?
They're in the tent right now.
Yeah,
aren't
like
they?
your characters wouldn't know that, but like, yeah. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, you don't see them. I will say this, though. Sneaking your vehicle in would be very difficult. You guys sneaking in on your own, possible, but like sneaking the vehicle in without anyone seeing it would probably be difficult to pull off. Next to impossible, I would say.
Okay, well, maybe I'll leave the gate up.
Okay.
Just on the off chance that we need to take a hasty retreat from inside in the vehicle or something.
Okay. Another thing you see in here is that there are a handful of visitors' passes that are
I'll grab a
scattered
handful
about
of
as
them.
well. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So you grab
Enough, not just for us, but maybe for them too.
Okay,
In
so you
case
grab
we
like
want to
6.
switch them. In case we want to switch them from workers to visitors.
Okay. Yeah. So you get your visitors passes, and yeah, whatever you can hear, like freaking out, like the military guy is like getting everyone to back away, like the guy in the pink who's like screaming at Little Ham, like, "What the hell? I told you had one freaking job. Just pay attention. What is wrong with you? You're the absolute worst. Oh my God, your mother's right about you. You're gonna amount to nothing," and just kind of laying into him big time.
I wish I was there.
somewhere, Llewellyn, you just feel a nice warm tingle just course through your body. So Stephen, Edward, and Allison, is there anything you want to do with this momentary distraction? You
If we
have
knew
to.
where they were, it'd be a good chance to try and get them out, but we don't know where they're at. So
Yeah. Bailey just going to be looking at the video feeds, just trying to see
Okay.
what's going on, see if we can see them. If we can't see them, going in seems super risky.
So you see
I'm
activity.
staying with the van.
Okay,
or-
you're staying by the van.
Yeah, just in case they need a quick.
Okay. So, when you're watching the cameras, you see that there's activity going on in the factory floor. The administration parking lot is now empty now that everyone just left it and ran over towards this other section. You do see that the outside of the on the camera outside of that tent area, you can see that there's some discussion being had between a handful of those military folks and a couple other people who are wearing like gas masks and get-ups. There's like stuff getting loaded into the backs of trunks, so they're having like some kind of conversation. It's not the clearest of picture. Again, it's a tiny little black and white screen, but you can tell. Yeah, there's enough that you can see people hand gestures and stuff, you know. So there's definitely interaction going on. And as you're watching, the vehicles, like everyone starts to get into vehicles, and like one of the military Humvees comes out in front, and then one of the like these what looks like a kind of a work vehicle kind of pulls in right behind them, and then another work vehicle pulls in right behind them, and then the second of the military Humvees creates like a 4-car caravan or convoy, I should say, excuse me, and they start driving away, and like together as if they organize some sort of control. Inside the tent, Levi, Llewellyn, and Nicholas, you just got stymied trying to steal some. You just saw a bunch of the Bugs Be Gone guys leave. They pulled the canisters and got out of the flaps. What did the three of you want to do?
With those canisters out of reach, almost getting caught, I'm good to back out, guys. What do you think?
Yeah.
Is there still a guy at the computer right now?
Yeah, he's just typing away, looking. Then he's like recording notes that he took. Doesn't look like he's moving.
Is there anything plugged into the computers, like a floppy drive or disk?
No,
Something like that.
no, it doesn't look like there's anything plugged into it now.
Any removable storage or anything that I can see?
Mm-mm. No, it's a big, ugly, blocky computer that has its drives built into not a tower, but the horizontal thing, and then the CC, like the old blocky monitor sitting on top.
CRT.
On top.
Yeah, CRT. That's what I was trying to think of. Not CCTV. That's not right. CRT. Might even be CRT that actually. I don't remember. Anyway, what do the three of you want to do?
Do we just sneak back and pretend like we took the world's longest shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
We gotta ditch these
pull a Tiffany.
shirts, or maybe swap it and put these shirts underneath in case we need them to sneak back.
Mhm.
Pull a Tiffany. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you back out of the circus tent. You start moving back down that kind of back alley behind the cannery. And what do you get? Near the employee area that would have led back into the locker room where you first stole stuff, you hear shouting, screaming, all sorts of stuff coming from right around the corner where you guys were doing your work on the sunken part of the annex. Llewellyn, you do hear like, "You're just a lousy piece of shit. Get out of my face. I'm never letting you work here again." And then you hear, "But Dad, come on, it wasn't my fault." Like some squeaky pain in the ass sound, and that's it. But I'll say, without having to roll a sneak, you can peek around the corner and see that there is a crowd that has formed. All of the people that you were working with. Now it's nearing the end of workday, but all of them are surrounding this sunken hole that you guys were pulling stuff out. You can see that a lot of them are sweating. They've sweat through. Some have taken their shirts off here and there. There's a military guy all of a sudden in the midst of this. There's not just Little Ham, who's stomping away towards the administration building right now, but Big Ham as well, who's there in a pink colored shirt.
I was gonna say we should blend in with the crowd, but man, maybe we should just bail.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm in favor of bailing since I don't want to deal with any authority figures.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's make like a tree and get the fuck out of here, guys.
All right, give me one last sneak test to get out of here.
Okay.
Edward, You see at this point the convoy of these vehicles pull up towards the security gate. They're not at the security gate. Alice and Steven, you're in the security shed right now. And you see this convoy of 2 military vehicles and 2 Bugs Be Gone exterminator vehicles, like they're almost being escorted. What are you doing?
We want to try and just, have the gate open and just wave them on, but head down like we're looking at the cameras or whatever.
I was just gonna duck under the. Yeah, not be visible.
Okay. So Allison, you duck. Steven, are you hitting the button and like waving like you said, or are you doing something different?
He's engaging in social engineering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Word of the night.
Probably a terrible idea, but I'm gonna try to look like I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Convoy's coming. Wave the button. Wave them through.
Okay. Roll a
They're
charm. Roll a charm just to see.
Why does it have to be charmed?
Because it's like a performance thing. You're kind of lying. Oh my god, you only have 1.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to push that?
Yeah.
Sure.
It happened for Adam the other day
Can
in
I
Forbidden
help?
Lands.
It did.
You said you were ducking beneath the desk.
Do you have a
Can I
shame?
tell him what to do?
It's not about what he knows what to
Oh.
do. He's trying to act, Oh yeah, shame.
I do have a shame.
What's
It's, I want to be
What are you
dependable.
ashamed of?
You want to be dependable? That's what it is. Oh,
Yeah.
That's perfect. That makes perfect sense.
Yes, that is perfect.
This needs to happen. If you don't pull this off, you and Allison are screwed. You're totally gonna get caught. And then Allison's gonna totally turn on Edward, right? And then Edward's gonna get arrested, and then he's gonna go to jail. He's gonna die in jail. It's gonna be awful.
I think being dependable is how I have.
Edward's a minor. He'll be fine. He'll die before he gets out of the.
You hit the button. You do a quick little wave. You kind of turn your head to the side, obscuring part of your face with your hand. You see like a hand, just like the window of the passenger side of one of the military vehicles winds down. You see a hand extend, kind of a wave of thank you, as the convoy exits the complex. Llewellyn, Nicholas, Levi, you manage to sneak behind all of the porta potties. You're not paying attention to what's going on. You see this convoy of vehicles just leave. No one seems to be paying attention. And then out of the corner of your eye, Llewellyn, you have to do a double take. You're like, wait, is that my sister? And you see Allison, her head ducks down in the window of the security gate. Like, she's your twin. You know what she looks like. That was her.
Oh, I think Allison's over there. What the fuck? That's
I'm probably looking his direction.
Yeah, there's somebody else in there, but you can't make out the face. But you saw Allison's head duck down, and then it kind of pops back up once the vehicles like kind of clear, and you can see her dead on. And I'll say Allison because I said it for Llewellyn. You're like looking around like randomly, and you catch sight of Llewellyn as well, and the twins gaze across at one another. You see each other.
Twin connection.
All right, no one seems to be paying attention to you guys right now.
let's
Susan.
fucking go.
All right, so you escape. You get out into the parking lot.
I'm
Get to your
keeping these
car.
visitor passes too.
Edward,
Yeah.
you've been tracking and you've been watching the convoy. You see it's like it's taking the winding exit path, but it's still in vision. Like you can still see them. So if you really wanted to try to like kind of follow them, you probably still could. It's up to you.
No way. I gotta collect everybody.
Okay.
As soon as I see faces, I know I'm gonna roll around and pick them up after they're out of the security check.
Okay. So a couple of you get into the car, a couple of you get into the Dodge Caravan, and then the two vehicles you slowly start at a distance weaving your way out of the Ham's Meat Company complex, and that's where we're gonna end our session for the night.
Okay.
Survive
That
another
was
day.
crazy.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That was fun. All right. All right, let's do some XP questions really fast. Let's see.
I'm scared. That's my condition.
Are you?
Yeah, I picked up a couple of them this time.
Awesome. I will break you people soon. Okay, participate in the session. Yes. Problem or relationships get you into trouble. All of you who are at school, you can say yes to this because your relationship to Nicholas was getting you into trouble all day long.
Yep.
Llewellyn, some problems, I guess, with Little Ham. What's your problem, Levi and Nicholas? I don't remember. I'm sorry.
What is my problem? Fuck. My dad died in Iraq. Mom is super overprotective.
It didn't come into play
that's
this
not,
time.
Nah.
Shit's my problem. Does that? Does that?
Yeah, that does count.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you already got it anyway,
Problem
but yeah,
is
you can
I'm
take that too.
Partially being looked for that meth net, but I'm also partially being looked for because of my brother.
Okay. Go ahead and take it. No one was broken, I don't think. We've got some conditions, but no broken. Harm's way to resolve the mystery. Anybody want to make a case? Levi, you snuck up really close to peek at an examination table. You could have easily been seen. I say all three of you just sneaking into the
Definitely
all the
poked
sneaking
my
you guys
around.
did today, like wandering around.
We
That
got really lucky.
you got very lucky.
I broke into a military car.
Oh hell yeah, Edward! Yeah, for sure.
That was awesome.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Trying to think of Allison or Steven.
Other than
I
maybe
lied
my
and
attempt
hid.
here to
Yeah, sneaking up to the gate for sure. Steven, take that. Allison, you were up there as well. Plus, you lied straight to the face of a military person, so there's that as well. So yeah, everyone can take that. Learn something new.
Well, yeah, we
Learn that
know
the cows
about
are getting
the
fucked
project.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
The,
that's
pro-
true.
the carrier project. Yeah, for sure. You three know that, and then I would say the other three know that something messed up is happening now. Specifically, what? But something's messed up is happening with these cows or something.
And they saw some more specifics with like the bug be gone and
Yeah.
cattle.
The false injury claim. There's some sort of somebody that they've been dealing with for 20 years that suddenly is kind of giving them the
Doesn't
cold
know who they
shoulder.
are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
That-
everyone can take it for that too. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let's hit some closing plugs and we'll get out of here. That went a little long. Sorry about that, but we were so close to the end. Bert, where can they find your stuff?
Twitch.tv/Steam Steel Murder. We've got a first edition Dungeons and Dragons game on Tuesday, BX game on Friday. Saturday, I am running on the official Goodman Games channel with Chuck here and Jeremy. Jeremy, are you in this one?
Yeah.
So is Dan.
Yeah, we're doing an America game and Daniel as well, right?
Awesome.
And Sunday is just a fun stream. Might be some Gamma World. Don't know yet.
Nice. I've been actually reading through some Gamma World stuff lately for stealing some stuff for Worlds Without Number here and there. So, Chuck, Defenders, what's going on?
Well, first I'd like to throw out tomorrow night here on this channel, 9 p.m. Central. We're still rocking out the Simba Room kind of preview thing. So tune back in for that. Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Central, we got some spectaculars. Jeremy's going to be running that for us. And then Friday night, we'll be back for our continuation of Aliens Destroy Our Worlds. That'll be over on Defenders of Cobalt, along with spectaculars. And then first time streaming it this coming Saturday on Defenders of Cobalt at noon Central. Watercolors and Warriors. We're going to be streaming it live on Twitch, so you can check that there. And then, yeah, like Bert mentioned, Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central over on Goodman Games Official. Bert's going to be running some Umerica for us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Great. And Jeremy, you got a podcast.
It's true. PLEWD Podcast.
All right. And then for Melissa and I, we're Adventures Lollygagging. So twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers. We play games on Mondays where we alternate between this one, Things from the Flood. And then we also play Alien on our own channel on the opposite Mondays. And then Fridays, we've been doing Delta Green. And starting this Saturday at 6 Central in the afternoon, evening, we are going to be picking up a Worlds Without Number game. So you can take a look at that.
Nice.
So thank you to Norse Foundry and Untold Stories Project. Thank you very much for the raids tonight. Thank you for all of you who hung out and watched us wander around a meat company in a high school. We will be back in a couple weeks to see what they do with what they learned tonight. But we're going to take off now. And thank you to the players. That was really fun. You guys, party was split, but I think everyone kind of got to learn something cool. So we'll...
covered more ground.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who says splitting the party is a bad idea? It's always a great idea. You get more done, more efficient.
it's perfect 100% of the time.
Yeah,
Always.
always. All right. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.